Hi there, welcome back to Azure Infrastructure and DevOps Series YouTube channel. My name is Chidebere. So today we are tackling an essential topic in Azure DevOps. So how you can export your classic pipelines to YAML and why YAML pipelines are game changer for your CI/CD workflows. So for instance, in many organizations, if you have already established a system of using classic templates to build your pipelines, and then you need some flexibility in customizing that to suit some changes, and you want to start leverage the already existing environment and then to implement or customize the changes now that you want. So you can actually export the classic template. It will give you a sample YAML configuration, and then you can customize the YAML configuration the way you want it. So in this video, I will give you an overview of how you can export an existing classic template to YAML, and then how you can make some change, start making some changes depending on your skill set on that. So, but note that you will not be able to export a task group, a pipeline that is in form of a task group. For instance, the one on the screen now, you won't be able to export them. Yes, there's a task group, Node.js, this, and then on the pipelines, let me give you this demo task group. Good. Okay. If we do edit on this pipeline, you see that basically we have three tasks merged together as a task group. So with this, you will not be able to export this to YAML. If you do, it will just show you this that is not supported for now. So for you to be able to export your classic template or classic pipelines to YAML, then you have to ungroup them, ungroup the individual tasks, and then export them. So for this purpose of this, then I will show you how you can export a sample classic template. So start using YAML. So if you are stuck using the classic pipeline and want to kind of step into the future of DevOps, then this video is for you. Stay tuned. So why the transition to YAML? First of all, before we dive into the how, and let's talk about why, and why should you care about using YAML pipeline. So the key benefits of using YAML pipeline first is the version control integration. You integrate your YAML to any version control, Azure repo, GitHub, and the rest that you want to make use of, so that any configuration changes you are making as you are pushing to your Git repository, depending on your configuration on the YAML, is triggering a pipeline build. So you don't have to interface with Azure DevOps interface for your pipeline to build or whatever. So that is one. Then it gives you flexibility. So with YAML, you can standardize your pipeline using templates and variables, or ensuring consistency across the teams and projects. So it gives you the flexibility to customize your script the way you want it and integrate some other third party tools. With classic, yes, you can integrate some other third party tools like SonarQube and the rest. However, the flexibility to customize it is more using YAML template. So, and YAML template already also is GitOps ready. So for teams embracing GitOps or infrastructure as a code practices, so YAML pipeline align perfectly. So by keeping your CI/CD definition as a code, and then you can do all the modification from your code base and deploy, right? So the deployment also, it helps you to deploy to multiple environments using one script to deploy to multiple environments at the same time, which is a great feature of this. So let's dive deep into one of the pipelines here, and then let's see how. Okay, good. Let me see. Okay, this is one of the pipelines. Then let me do a date, and then we confirm that this is classic. Good. So from this interface, that you confirm that this is a classic template, right? So for us to export this, so let's assume that your project is just very complex with different integrations and the rest. Good. So what you just do basically is to come to the agent job and click VYAML. So this is just about three tasks within this interface for a demo. So, but in some organization or depending on the kind of project, you have a very complex task or a lot of tasks here. So you just, instead of individual tasks, you can view the YAML and then you start arranging or linking your YAML script. You just come to the agent job, and once you export this, it will carry all the embedded tasks in them. So basically, yes, this is what we'll see. Okay, so we just click copy on this, and then you go back to your pipelines. As you go back on your pipelines, and then you do this. No, create a new pipeline. Then instead of choosing a classic template, then you choose Azure repo. Alright, you choose Azure repo. You choose either Azure repo or GitHub, depending on where your code base is. So for the purpose of this, instead of choosing a classic editor, so for the purpose of this, I have to create a code base, a file within that code base with the code we have copied from here, with the code we have copied on the previous interface, which is this. Just as a reminder, yes, with the code we just copied. So what we do now is to create a new pipeline and choose the repository where that is. So to create that on my repo, yes, for the purpose of this video, I'm not heading to, I'm not doing that from a local Visual Studio Code or so. I'll create the file directly from here, and then I'll just add new file, the demo pipeline .yaml, and then we'll create. And once you create on this interface, you just paste your code. Yes, you can edit this a bit to put the trigger so that once you push your code to a specific branch, it will be able to trigger the build without human interference. You say main. The trigger should be main. So with this, you can set up different other stuff. Here on the pool agent, we are using Azure pipelines. You can set up your own self-hosted agent and make reference of the self-hosted agent here. You can make it multi-stage. You can do all the configuration. So, but this is just a starter pipeline for a demo how you can copy your YAML configurations. Then we'll do a commit. Let me just demo classic conversion. Okay, I'm committing. Good. So I've committed. Come back to the pipelines, and then we are selecting Azure repo, and then this is the file where it is. So we are not choosing any of this, rather existing YAML configuration. Also, you can do a starter YAML, assuming you have not created the file on your repository. You can do a starter YAML and then create the YAML from this interface here. Create a YAML, and then you can just replace this with what you have. Yes, but so far we have created that. Then we are going to point to the file that we've created. We're using existing YAML, and this is a select the part. We have demo pipeline.yaml. This is it, and then we can run the pipeline. So we'll just give it a few seconds or minutes, and then the pipeline will run, and then you will confirm that the same execution that happened in the classic pipeline, the same step will be executed also in this, including the few modifications or any configuration or customization changes that you are going to do. Everything will just be intact, and then you can continue using YAML script to customize and then develop more on the environment you are working on. So as you can see, this is successful. So that's basically on conversion. And then just a quick recap on this. If you have multiple environments, and you want to multiple tasks in your environment, and you want to copy all of them, so instead of copying individual tasks here, instead of copying individual tasks in a situation whereby you have up to 30 or so, or 10, instead of copying individual tests, you just come to the agent job and copy all of them at once to avoid the issues with linting or aligning your YAML code. So if you find this helpful, don't forget to like and comment, and then give me feedback on any of the Azure DevOps interface feature that you would like to see on our next video. So thank you for watching.